Picture yourself in a heated exchange. Someone throws arrogance across the table like a weapon, slicing through the room with smug confidence. Most people shrink back, holding their tongue, hoping the storm passes. But what if instead you had words sharpened not for battle but for dominance? Not insults, not raised voices, but calm, strategic phrases that strip arrogance bare and leave the aggressor with nothing to stand on. That's what this is about. Today you'll discover 5 phrases designed to dismantle arrogance with precision. They don't rely on volume or on ego. They rely on discipline, clarity, and the Stoic principle that true power never reacts. It commands. And I'll tell you now, the final phrase is so devastating in its subtlety that it often leaves people stunned into silence. That's why you need to stay until the end. The Stoics understood arrogance for what it is, a fragile disguise. Seneca put it plainly, arrogance is the mask of small souls. Epictetus reminded us that no man is free who is not master of himself. And Marcus Aurelius, emperor of the known world, still wrote in his journal, "You cannot control the tongues of others. You can only govern yourself." Arrogance is loud because it is hollow. The Stoic response is not to shout louder. It is to stand so still, so composed, that the arrogance collapses under its own weight. Let's break open the 5 phrases that do exactly that. Phrase 1. You're entitled to your perspective. It sounds mild, but it is a blade. Arrogance thrives on resistance. The arrogant expect you to clash, to argue, to push back. They want fuel. But this phrase gives them none. It acknowledges without surrendering. It concedes nothing. Yet it drains the fight from their posture. This isn't agreement. This isn't approval. It is simply recognition that their words exist, nothing more. Epictetus taught, it is not what they say, but how you receive it that matters. When you reply with, "You're entitled to your perspective," you refuse to carry their poison inside. Imagine this in a meeting. Someone mocks your idea with a smirk, expecting you to fight for validation. Instead, you look them in the eye, calm and unwavering. You say, "You're entitled to your perspective." The room shifts. They expected a brawl. You gave them detachment. Their balloon deflates. And everyone watching sees not weakness, but mastery. Phrase 2. That's a point worth considering. This is psychological judo. Arrogance expects rejection. They crave your resistance because it confirms their superiority. But when you take their words, and instead of pushing back, you fold them into calm acknowledgement, their sword slips. It doesn't mean you accept their dominance. It means you've repositioned the conversation. Seneca wrote, "Nothing is so arrogant, it cannot be softened by reason." This phrase is reason embodied. You transform a clash into a reflection. Picture it. Someone is flexing intellectual arrogance in front of others, belittling your stance. Instead of sparring, you answer. That's a point worth considering. The crowd sees it instantly. You didn't bow. You didn't fight. You redirected. Suddenly, the arrogance looks like insecurity. You look like the one in control. Phrase 3. I'd like to hear more before I respond. This is silence weaponized. The arrogant feed on urgency. They push for quick reactions because reaction means chaos, and chaos is their stage. When you withhold, when you wait, when you calmly choose not to answer immediately, you cut their legs out from under them. Marcus Aurelius said, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." By delaying your answer, you show calm, you show strength, and you reveal that the tempo of the exchange belongs to you, not to them. Picture a debate. Someone slams their opinion onto the table, fists, metaphorical or literal, demanding confrontation. Everyone braces for your counterattack. But instead you lean back, steady. You say, "I'd like to hear more before I respond." Silence. They stumble because the fight they prepared for isn't happening. The audience sees the difference. One man thrashes, the other governs. Phrase 4. It's clear we all see things differently. This is not concession. It is revelation. The arrogant thrive on the illusion that their view is universal, absolute. This phrase rips that illusion apart, without insult, without heat. It's a reminder that every opinion is nothing more than one angle on a larger truth. Epictetus taught, we are disturbed not by things, but by the views we take of things. When you say it's clear we all see things differently, you pull arrogance into the light. Their supposed certainty becomes what it always was, just another view among many. Picture a family gathering. Someone insists their take is law, trying to impose it like a hammer. You respond, composed, it's clear we all see things differently. They can't attack it without exposing themselves as intolerant. Everyone sees it. Their hammer shatters. And your calm becomes the center of gravity. Phrase 5. If that gives you comfort, I won't interfere. This is the coup de grace. The arrogant want victory. They want validation. They want to know they've unsettled you. When you reply with this phrase, you do something devastating. You grant them nothing. You expose the insecurity behind their show. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is not what happens, but what you choose to value, that has power over you." This phrase is that teaching in motion. By treating their arrogance as nothing more than a small comfort, you strip it of meaning. You reduce their thunder to a child's toy. Picture a colleague showing off, claiming they've outdone you. Everyone waits for the clash. You look at them evenly. You say, if that gives you comfort, I won't interfere. The game ends. Their arrogance is revealed for what it is, a plea for approval. And you, by refusing to grant it, have already won. Notice what all 5 share. Not one seeks confrontation. Not one feeds ego. Each is a scalpel, not a sword. They don't shout. They cut. Seneca warned us, he who seeks to be feared is already afraid. The arrogant, loud as they seem, are fragile. By refusing to play their game, you reveal that fragility to everyone watching. Epictetus said, freedom is the power to choose your reaction. Each of these phrases is freedom weaponized. Marcus Aurelius taught, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. That's what these words are. Calm victories over chaos. To say you're entitled to your perspective is to show maturity. To answer that's a point worth considering is to redirect the battle without blood. To reply I'd like to hear more before I respond is to seize time itself as your ally. To state it's clear we all see things differently is to dissolve arrogance into relativity. And finally, to conclude, if that gives you comfort, I won't interfere, is to reveal the desperation behind the mask. These are not phrases of retreat. They are phrases of command. They belong to men who are not ruled by arrogance, theirs or anyone else's. Men who refuse to be dragged into petty battles because they understand the battlefield of the mind is where power is truly won. Imagine living this way. No longer provoked by petty arrogance, no longer reactive to insults. Instead calm, strategic, unshaken. That is Stoicism alive in you. The philosophy of emperors and generals applied in your daily life. So the question is simple. When arrogance comes for you, Which weapon will you draw? If this video opened your eyes, then subscribe to the Inner Citadel for more. Like the video, and in the comments write, "I choose command," because the weak react, the arrogant boast, but the wise govern themselves, and in that, they govern everything.